Hello and welcome back to the channel. On the chopping block today we are looking at the Mirage 2000-5F. Sitting at 14.0, it is France's answer to the MiG-29 and America's F-16. Now, this airframe, of course, is based off the Mirage 2000 airframe, bringing much improved avionics, radar, and most importantly, the Mika EM missile. In this video we will cover weapons, its airframe, and whether it is worthy of the grind or not. Now, taking a look at the plane's modifications, it gets a pretty nice suite of air-to-ground weaponry, primarily the Nords, PGMs, and the GBU 12, 16, and BGLs. Now, this is how I like to keep my plane set up. I always take a center tank, just because, and I take 6 Mikas and 2 Magics. That's more than enough for the major engagements you'll have during the games you play. Now, for ground strike, this plane is pretty solid. It gets a good amount of air-to-ground weaponry with dumb bombs, guided bombs in the forms of Paveway 2s and PGMs, Paveway 3s, and then of course one of my favorite missiles, the Nord Ls. They're just reliable. Now, on top of all that, it gets teensy-wincy Type 25 snub bods, which, let's keep it real, nobody's using. And it also gets a fun little gun pod. Now, this plane also comes equipped with the AS-37 Armat HARM missile recently introduced. So, for ground realistic, this is genuinely not a bad choice for the French top-tier player. Now, the radar, the piece de resistance, is the Thales RDY, sitting on the I-band with a max range of 150 kilometers. It has all the bells and whistles you would ever need at top tier, except for the fact it can only data link 4 targets. You have 6 missiles, keep that in mind. Now, for the main reason why you want to play this plane, the Mika EM missile. This missile is effectively the shortest ranged AMRAAM in the game, but don't let that fool you. It's not necessarily a disadvantage, because although its range is short, as you just saw, its acceleration is absolutely ridiculous. So, coming from personal experience, anything within 15 kilometers of this missile is a guaranteed kill. Of course, its NES heavily depends on how you're flying and where you're flying and other such factors. But this missile, again, its acceleration is what makes it extremely deadly. If you fire this at someone and they don't know it's been fired at them, their chance of evasion is pretty low. For example, in that specific shot, the guy knew and started to kite, so that reduced the effectiveness of the Mika missile. Now, combining such a missile with the Mirage 2000 airframe allows you to do some very silly things, as I'm about to demonstrate. The high AOA the Delta wings provide, along with the insane acceleration and AOA of the missile itself, allows you to do really insane off-board side shots, backflips, the whole 9 yards. And coupled with the HMDE that this thing gets, oh boy, can you hit people from where they least expect. Now, touching more on the Delta wing design, it does give you an incredible instantaneous turn rate, where you can point your nose at almost anything and instantly get a missile off. However, this does come with the downside of very piss-poor energy retention. If you turn hard into a turn, you will dump your speed almost instantly. Now, this allows you though to get that kill off in the first turn, but if the fight drags on, you'll be slow and low in energy, making you a very easy target for anybody who actually decides to third party, which is practically everybody. Now, thankfully, the 5F comes with an upgraded engine, allowing you to recover a lot faster from those dogfights you decide to take. This engine comes with a good increase in mid-speed acceleration, and again, this does allow you to recover from a lot of pull-slow maneuvers you might try to use to outkill the enemy. Talking more about the enemy, you are sitting at 14.0, effectively top tier. You will be fighting everything that is nasty. Strike Eagles, Flankers, Vipers, Hornets, anything with an AMRAAM can outrange you, and that is extremely important information you must retain. So, keeping this in mind, your early game objective is effectively just to survive. survive the absolute onslaught of telephone poles coming at you from all the other planes that can outrange you, and get in close. Now, you can do this by either going on a flank route around the mountain, around some terrain features, turning off your radar and being a bit stealthy, or then again, you can just try your luck with multi-pathing and go right through the barrage of missiles to then get in close and fire off your micas using your HMD under 19 kilometers. Now, in my experience, doing such has yielded mixed results because micas as of late have tended to be a little bit finicky. Now, even if you do everything right, you leave the radar in TWS mode, you actually lock the target before you fire and still guide it via data link, the missile is sometimes quite easy to notch actually. Now, this does come from the fact that since it burns so hard, so quickly, and so fast, the missile runs out of energy very quickly. Let's say, for example, I fire at a target coming towards me under 10 kilometers. The missile will hit it no problem. But that same shot I make and the target is flying away from me, the missile won't make it due to all the reasons I just mentioned. So, you need to keep it in mind when using the micas against people. Use it against people who have no idea you are around them. Jump them essentially, because this plane will and can dogfight for you, but it's one of those planes where you need to finish the fight before anybody else can intervene, because if it drags on with the airframe that you have, you are most certainly not going to survive it, and that's just the simple truth of it. Now, coming from my personal experience with this plane and flying it throughout all the metas and the eras until and from its release, the plane is actually pretty great to grind once you get past the initial, let's say, pain and suffering that you experience when trying to spade this plane. At first, you do get a pair of micas to sling around. Note, a pair, only 2. So you will already be limited to picking your fights extremely carefully. But thankfully, this plane has extremely good awareness, even if you don't have good awareness. Its radar has threat detection, its RWR can identify what plane's radars are coming towards it, and it comes with an MAW system, which is actually surprisingly rare for a French plane. In fact, it might, aside from the Vipers, be the only French plane with a MAW, aside from the Vipers, and the Rafale as of now. But you never know. Your own awareness is literally your best defense from getting shot down, especially in this nimble little plane. So, my overall verdict when it comes to the Dash 5F. A much needed upgrade over a beloved airframe, bringing it into the modern times, both in-game and IRL. A pretty solid weapon suite both for air and ground. Keep in mind, your engagement distance is shorter than everybody else's. So, your effectiveness essentially stems from how well you can fly the French Dorito and stay alive until you get into the fight. Now, that being said, do I recommend this plane? Hell yeah. I mean, do what you want. But yeah, I do recommend this plane. Is it hard to fly? I'll give it about a 7 out of 10 on the painful scale. But you never know. You never know until you try it. Now, with all that being said, I appreciate y'all for stopping by and hearing me yap about this plane I love for the past few minutes. I hope you stick around and see what other cool stuff I have lined up for the channel. It should be a pretty interesting year. Once again, thank you and have a great day.